Good afternoon, everyone. It's 4:30, and we'd like to begin by rising for a moment of silence, and then we will follow that with a pledge of allegiance. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could have roll call, please.
Brad Hens.
Here.
Ken Snyder.
Here.
Pete Hamel. Chantel Ostrup.
Here.
Tom Eggers.
Here.
Next item up is approval of the agenda.
Make the motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion, any comments? Roll call, please.
Ostrup.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Ken.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
All right, now we reach the public forum portion of our meeting. Is there anyone wishing to address the council at this time? And there have been no written comments either, so we'll move on then to our consent agenda. I'll take a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Ken.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Ostrup.
Aye.
All right, moving then into old business, 5A, we'll move into the second reading of the ordinance of the water rates for fiscal year 24-25. We need to approve the second reading. We've had the first approved, now the second.
Make the motion to approve the second reading.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Ostrup.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Ken.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Any direction you want to go with the third meeting? Waive it or have it? Any recommendations from you, Sam?
I'd recommend waiver.
Okay. So, if anyone feels different, you can make a motion to that effect, or a motion supporting what Sam just said.
I know we won't get any comments, but when we're dealing with price increases, I think we should go to the third reading. I know nobody's going to comment, but still gives them the opportunity.
Okay,
But that's personal feeling.
all right. Any other comments? Having said that, Brad, would you be willing to make that as a motion?
What's that?
With having stated your feelings, would you be willing to make that as a motion?
To waive the third reading?
No, to have it. You're saying to have it, correct?
No, not to have it.
Oh, not to have it, okay.
No.
You're
Go
making
on to the third reading, so people have the opportunity to comment if they want. I know they're not going to, but it gives them the opportunity on a rate increase.
Okay, okay, all right, very good. So the third reading will then be at our next meeting on June 19. Same thing with the second reading of ordinance on sewer rates. We need to approve the second reading.
So moved. Support.
Roll call, please.
Ken.
Aye.
Ostrup.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
And based on the previous, I'm assuming we want to move that also to a third reading on the 19th. If you disagree, speak up. We will have a third reading on the 19th regarding that as well. All right, then into new business. Item A is the auditor selection. We're seeking consensus to proceed with selection of ABDO. Information about them is in the agenda. Any comments from you, Sam, at this time?
I think the explanation I wrote speaks for itself. I would like to thank Angie and Pete for their assistance in this.
Any questions from anyone at this time regarding the process or the recommended auditors. So you say you're seeking consensus, then we don't need a motion?
There would be a motion at the next meeting.
Okay.
Unless there's a disagreement, we can just move forward with negotiating the agreement. Micah, you want to turn yours on so that I can... So, yeah, you can, there would be a motion at the next meeting, so basically this is just, if everyone's okay with this consensus, we can just move forward with wrapping up the agreement.
Okay.
It'd be on consent next time.
I'm not hearing anybody speak up, so I'm assuming we have consensus. And we'll move on to item B, authorizing a request for a proposal for banking services.
I do have one comment. Talked to one of the bank presidents this afternoon who wasn't able to come to the meeting, but liked how the RFP was written. Micah and I were having a sidebar just before the meeting, and his recommendation is to add something to the request for proposals before it goes out that says this is subject to final written signed agreement and resolution. So I'll add that in. But if you're good with it, we do have some in the audience, so perhaps there's some public comment on this.
Yes, as I was going to say, we'd like to, anyone wishing to address the council at this time regarding the RFP for banking services? No? Okay. Further discussion, the direction? Anybody have anything? If not, we will proceed as outlined in your agendas.
I think with this one, it might be a good idea to get a motion to authorize the RFP.
Okay? Someone want to make a motion to approve the RFP?
I'll make the motion to approve the RFP for banking services.
Do I have a second for that?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, just a quick question. I don't see anything in the list of 8 items within the draft that mentions anything about any limits to the amount of money or funds that would receive whatever the proposed interest rate would be. Is that correct?
That was intentionally left out.
Okay. So that would mean then there is no cap to it? There is no... So the banks understand that?
They do, but they also have the opportunity in the RFP to say, we'll pay up to X amount, up to the, so they could ask for a cap within their response.
Okay. Very good, thanks.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Eggers.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Ostra. Aye.
All right, item C is a resolution regarding garbage rates. We have a presentation of request for an additional 25 cents per month increase due to landfill rate increases. Marge, did you want to address the council at this time, or?
I guess the additional quarter is for the landfill increase for the year. I guess I can give you a report on the recycle box. That's going pretty good so far. Every once in a while when I get there in the morning I have a surprise, but for the most part it's going a lot better than I thought, so.
Good.
And another thing I'd like to bring up is in the near future or down the road a ways, I'd like to get a standardized recycling bin that can be picked up with the automated truck. And there's a lot of people have them, and some people don't recycle, so I don't know how many we need for sure, but that's all in discussion down the road. But
Okay.
just so you think about that, and we can talk about that some other time, so.
Okay. Do you have a time frame in mind?
Soon as possible. I mean, I don't know how long, it might take 6 months to get cans and all that, so the sooner we start talking about it, the better, but,
Okay.
that's up to you guys, what you think. I know it's gonna take a lot of discussion before we do it, so.
Any comments, Sam?
Yeah, I have one, and I think this will be one of the key points in that discussion is if we do that, are you still willing then to stop and pick up the items that won't fit into that can, like a refrigerator box?
Yeah, if they got big boxes, probably, but I'm not gonna be able to stop at every can and pick stuff up. 'Cause then we could just maybe leave it the way it is. But if they have extra or whatever, they could bring it. I think we're gonna keep the big box, if I understood that right, so, I mean, there'll still be a place where they can bring their extras. But that's something we gotta talk about too, so. But,
So Mark, what is your rate on that recycling bin that's located on your property?
it's,
now?
dump it,
Yeah, what do you charge the city for
it's,
that?
I believe we're at 75. Is that
Per-
right, Angie? I think so.
Yeah.
And
That's
I've-
per
I've-
dump.
I've been at 75, I think, since we got it, so.
Okay.
And we dump it twice a week, so. And I just ask if it's full, don't set the stuff down. My neighbors don't want the stuff blowing around, and neither do I, and if you can't get it in the box, I can't. So, I mean, if you would, just take it back home or come back later or something, so. But overall, it's working really good, I think. Lot better than I thought,
Good.
so, but that's all I have, I guess.
All right. Anyone else questions for Mark while he's here?
Are the people breaking down the boxes and stuff better now, or are they just throwing it in?
No.
Empty boxes?
Some people break them down, most of them just throw them in,
I think be reminded of that, it
yeah.
help you a lot.
And I know with extra trash, people said they didn't know there were stickers available. If you go on our Facebook page, it tells everything, the stickers, schedule, recycling schedule. So, and if you don't have Facebook, call me, I can take care of you too, so, but.
Very good. Thank you, Mark.
If I might.
Yes, please.
So I didn't have a chance to ask her if it was okay for me to link this to the agenda, so I'm not going to say her name, but I got a email this afternoon to me from one of your constituents, and she says, I see by the paper you are to consider raising garbage rates again. As a recent widow, this is disturbing. I only put out garbage once every 2 to 3 weeks, recycle mostly once a month. That's a pretty big expense for so little service. Thanks for listening to my concerns. This was someone on 9th Avenue. So,
Okay. All right. Any further discussion or direction from the council regarding this matter? You looking for a motion?
you could either approve the resolution today, or you could approve it on a future agenda.
Given the proposed increase that the landfill is going to implement, I don't think the request is not, I think the request is legitimate, put it that way.
I'd make a motion that we accept the 25-cent increase for the purposes of meeting the increased expenses at the landfill.
Okay. We have a motion. Is there support for that?
I will second that.
Okay. Further discussion?
I just have one comment. Being on the landfill board and talking to another garbage operator in a different town, and the calculation that he uses, when the landfill goes up per dollar, increments, this is within that number he has told me, so
Okay.
it's not out of the line what other towns are doing.
All right. Anyone else? Then I'll have roll call, please.
Ostra? Aye.
Kent?
Aye.
Snyder?
Aye.
Eggers?
Aye.
All right, Larry, you're with us today from Perspective Insurance, Larry Schmidt. You want to address council at this time? Okay.
Larry Schmidt from Perspective Insurance. Thank you for having me. Couple proposals which are included in your packet. First one probably being the health insurance renewal. Those are pretty good numbers. Those numbers from a year ago, you can see there's a little paragraph attached, I think, that says the difference is 4.75%. A couple things contribute to that. As you can see, we are higher in single employees and less in families. That will keep those rates down. Of course, that makes that rate increase look small, and next year from now, that number can reverse, and we could look at a higher number and say, hey, our rates went way up. The rates didn't necessarily go up. It's the structure of the family and single. But overall, that one looks really good. The other big portion of that can affect that is the buy-down claims. They're a little higher this year than the prior year, so projecting them forward, we project them at a higher number again. If that's down, of course, our overall cost will be down, and we don't know that until the claims come in from employees and what kind of year we have. So, but overall, the projection is a 4.75% health. The other attachment in there is the property and casualty. I think we discussed this a little bit earlier in the year at a meeting about what's happening in the property casualty markets and the weather and the storms and throughout the Midwest and how this is being affected. So I think the big things here to point out is, of course, the property has got the largest increase. And if we look down at the bottom there, we'll see that a good share of that increase is due to increase in property value. Okay, some of that is from ICAP saying all structures, all property are going to be 10% higher due to inflation costs. A good chunk of that is, as we talked earlier, was that we've added the water tower this year. We've added some stoplights, just a few other minor things, the flags and the equipment that goes with that. At the top of my head, some of the things I can remember. And then, of course, the other big portion of the increase was the vehicles. The valuation of the vehicles is up quite a bit, which caused another $5,100 in increase. So the combined between those two, so of increased exposure on the policy alone is 10.5%. Below that, you'll see what ICAP did on the rates overall for the year. We'll see a total increase on the renewal of 19.2, making that total be 29.7. When they projected that out earlier this year, they said it was going to be in that 35 to 40% range. As you can see, roughly 20% of that is where they came in at. 10% was because we've increased the property and values and added some additional things. Yeah, any questions from the council? one more comment, excuse me. On our property, we have circled there, we have a $1,000 deductible, which is very low in today's market. In fact, we are not even able to write those kind of deductibles in most markets anymore. We have asked the carrier to give us a couple deductible options, see if we can get some premium savings. That I did not have that yet today by today's meeting, so I'd assume that will take about a week and I'll get those numbers back.
What would you put that number at as an insurance professional?
The deductible
What would you
savings?
recommend? I mean, if you said the $1,000 is low,
You know, the key here is, okay, so I've asked for a $2,500, a $5,000, and a $10,000.
okay.
Key is, what is the savings?
Mm-hmm.
What's the savings versus the risk? And
Right.
until that number comes back,
Hard to say.
yeah.
All right. Any other questions for Larry?
I'm going to touch on workers' comp real quick.
Sure. So part of this whole calculation is our work comp, and the city has done a fabulous job. The departments have done a great job of loss control. And a big indication of that is that experience modification number down below. Last year was 0.84, this year is 0.83. That shows you that you're 17% better than the average in your category. So you're performing 17% better than the average city, creating a 17% discount. Along with that discount comes many more, because when you're doing a great job, they see that, they reward you. If we were paying state-based rates, our premium on that number would be double. We're getting about 55% off the state-based rates by the time we're done. So great job to everyone from the city departments. It's paid off. Any other questions?
Not so much a question for Larry perhaps, but to maybe Ann. Remember what we budgeted for insurance increase?
For health insurance?
Yeah.
Health insurance, I believe, was 10.
Okay. And what about this?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it was, we budgeted 30, if I remember right, for property casualty and 10 for workers' comp. That's what I remember.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
All right. So no hardship there, really. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Just receive this for information.
Yeah, there's no motion
Yeah.
needed.
No motion required. We're just going to receive this for information at this time. It'll come back to us down the road.
Actually, it won't.
It won't. Oh,
No,
that's right.
it's
There's a
it's
budget.
budgeted,
That's right,
so
that's right.
we're-
Yep. Okay. All right, next item up is the Oak Street project. Todd, I'm assuming you're going to comment on that.
Yeah, I'm actually going to let Landon Like from Beck Engineering take it.
Hello, Landon.
Hi, Landon with Beck Engineering. We let the project for bid, the Oak Street reconstruction, just west of 8th Avenue out to Washington Avenue. Took bids last Thursday. We received 4 bids, with the low being $788,000 and the high being $865,000. Our engineer's estimate was $850,000 and some change. So the low bidder was Holstein Excavating out of Edgerton, Minnesota, at $788,000, about 93% of our estimate. Holstein does have plenty of experience and is qualified bidder for a project of this scope. Therefore, you can see the attached letter that we recommend awarding the project to them.
Okay.
I would concur, and just to give you a little rundown on projects that Holstein has done for us in the not so far away, they installed water main for us from Washington to Country Club to the new tower. They were the lead contractor on the stoplight project on Highway 18. And then back in 2021 or 2022, they did the other chunk of Oak Street, North 5th, Pine Street, South 3rd Avenue. So here in the last 5 years, they've performed a lot of work for us. And satisfactory.
I actually talked to, one more comment, sorry.
Yeah.
I talked to Holstein today, and I had asked them if the project was awarded when they would begin construction. They're hoping for the end of July or early August. Nothing in the contract holds them to a start date. It's a completion date contract of November 8th with 60 working days. So.
Did they give an indication, you said November 8th as a completion?
November 8th is the
Yeah.
completion. Yep.
Did they give an indication once they start how long they expect the project to take?
So we specified 60 working days.
Okay.
Which is 3 months,
months.
if the weather's good. I don't think it'll take all of that. We haven't gotten an official schedule from them, though. We'll receive that prior to the pre-construction meeting if the project's awarded.
Okay. All right, anyone else have questions for Landon?
I take it you have plans for access to the emergency at the hospital?
Yep, so...
What's that look like during the project?
So Oak Street from 7th Ave to about mid-block between 7th and 8th will remain as it is today. So the project begins just west of the 8th Ave intersection. So both entrances to the emergency room, the one off of 7th and the one off of Oak,
Okay.
will remain.
They'll have to access the clinic there as well, Tom, and then I can't think of the proper name now, but the retirement facility that's further to the east.
Beehive.
Yeah, the Beehive, they'll also have to access through there. And we have spoken with Sanford about driving over a very small portion of their property so the Beehive can get in and out, and they've said that's fine. So
Good.
we've been in communication with their staff.
Great. Very good. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
All right, then I'd like to open up the public hearing on this. Is there anyone here today that would like to address the council regarding this contract or project? Have we had any written comments regarding this?
None.
Okay. Seeing no activity here, I'll take a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Snyder.
Aye.
Wilstra.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
All right, then we need a motion to approve the resolution awarding the contract to Holstein.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Snyder.
Aye.
Wilstra.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Okay, moving into the reports section of our meeting. First up, Kiana Johnson is with us to discuss a report on the O'Brien County Economic Development.
Hello.
Hi,
Thank you for
welcome
having me.
back.
I
You bet.
appreciate it. And I think I sent Sam 3 uploads, so sorry about that. There's a lot
you're
of
good.
data. So
They're all-
first
they're all
one
linked.
I'll talk about is my annual report. So for those that don't know, we're a private nonprofit organization. We're funded solely off contribution dollars. Money we get from the cities, we get from the county, businesses, lenders, utility companies. So we operate roughly on about $170,000 a year. So thank you very much for your support of what we do. We appreciate it. And because of that, then our board is made up of a representative from each community and one member of the Bryan County Board of Supervisors. So your Sheldon rep is Mark Brown. So at any time, if you have any questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out to myself or any of the members on the board member list. First thing I'll mention is we just partnered with ISU and their SciBiz lab to conduct some market analysis, needs assessment, and produce a strategic plan. So we're just finishing that up, but on one of my attachments there was some interesting data that I wanted to share with you, so we'll talk about that at the end of my report. Workforce continues to be one of our, I guess, most important issues, and we found that out when working with the SciBiz lab too. The number one concern our employers had was workforce. They need people. So one of our objectives has been to work with our youth. If we can keep our young people here and keep them from leaving the county, letting them know we have job opportunities, we have education opportunities, and we want them to stay here. That is so important to us. For years, we've kind of had the saying, it's okay if you want to go off to Ames, Des Moines, wherever, but, you know, come back someday. Well, now we're changing that language, and we're saying, no, don't go. We want you to stay. You know, you're really valuable. We want to keep you here. So we've been working really hard at that, and this year we did our 6th annual Career Day. That was April 26th. And how we've been doing that is we work with all 3 public schools in O'Brien County, Sheldon, HMS, and South O'Brien. And then also Marcus has been joining us. And we do tours. We bring sophomore students into the place of business, and we give them tours of the business, because what we're trying to do is get rid of any misconceptions that our places of employment, such as Rosenboom or JTV or White Wolf Reb, I think there's a misconception that those are dirty work environments, hot work, you know, and we're trying to show these students that's not the way it is at all. You know, these are nice work environments. They use a lot of technology, and the feedback we've got from the students is that's exactly what they're seeing. They're saying, you know, that is not what I thought it was. And so we feel we're gaining in that sense. And then we've also introduced scholarships, and this year we gave out 2 scholarships, and both recipients were from Sheldon. Tori Elgersma and Ryan Vollink were recipients of those, and they were $500 each. So we also then had what we call a business hub at the LLRC, and those are for the places that students were unable to tour. I think Beck Engineering participated in that. We had about 15 businesses and all that participated there too. So we're trying to expose the students to the places of business, the opportunities we have in O'Brien County. Another, I guess, one of our biggest tools in our toolkit is our revolving loan fund. And that committee is made up of lenders in O'Brien County, and your Sheldon representative is Dan Mattis. That is gap financing. We do 1/3 of the total project cost, not to exceed $250,000. And then our interest rate is less than the bank rate. We usually do 70% of whatever the bank rate is. So if you have a business that's looking to expand or start up, please they can work with any bank in O'Brien County, or they can reach out to me and I'd be happy to help them. And we also work in conjunction with Sheldon's RLF. So we can do 200,000, and I think Sheldon can do 200,000. I just don't think we can exceed 400 through the USDA as a combined. To date, we made our first loan in 1993, and since then we've done 66 loans totaling over $5,500,000. And out of those loans, 1,230,567 have gone to Sheldon businesses. We are audited every year, and then I did put the list of, we have 2 different pools of money. There's a county pool, which was started back in 1989, and then we've received the USDA funds, and those are the ones I listed there. So we have 2 pools of money that we can tap into, and currently already in 2024, we've approved 4 loans totaling over $432,000. Next, we have the O'Brien County Tourism Committee, and I should mention all of our committees, all of our board members, they're all volunteers. We appreciate everything they do, and we're always looking for more volunteers. So if there's anyone in Sheldon that would like to join our tourism committee or our value-added aid committee, we'd love to have them. Right now, Nancy McDowell represents the city of Sheldon on our tourism committee. And our tourism committee has been really active in the last 2 years. Especially, it kind of goes along with our workforce initiative, is the quality of life and promoting this is a great place to live, there's great things to do, and trying to promote ourselves that way, because we're finding out in getting to keep our people and also recruit new people to the area, they're all looking for things to do. It's a quality of life initiative. So the last 2 years, we received over $15,000 in grant money from the state of Iowa to promote ourselves. So we launched a whole bunch of initiatives. We created a new tourism website, Facebook, Instagram. We were also chosen for the Soul of Iowa campaign. That was an initiative the state of Iowa did promoting communities in O'Brien County, and we were one of the 15 chosen. We were partnered with the city of Lamar's for that promotion. We also started the O'Brien County Trails Committee. What we're doing with that is all the committees, all the communities have trails committees, and we're putting together a comprehensive plan. what we're finding and what we've been told from our Council of Government is that when those grant opportunities come available, if we have a written plan, we can score higher. So that plan will be out there for any of the cities to use or the county if they want to go after some grant dollars. And Ted with Northwest Iowa Planning and Development has put that plan together. Also, Localhood is another app we're using through the state of Iowa. These are all free. And if you ever have time to open your Google search, just look up Localhood of Bryan County. You'll just see some really quick, like Google short stories. And then we do continue to do our print media, brochures, maps, and travel guides. And because of that initiative we were chosen by the state of Iowa in 2023 for Best Marketing Initiative in the state of Iowa. One of the first bloggers we brought in was Sarah Drawers. She owns the Midwest Travel Network. She has wrote 2 books, and I've asked her to come up and do a book signing. She's agreed July 9th, and she wants to do it at the Prairie Arts Council, so we've arranged that to happen out there. So please check Facebook and Instagram because she'll be coming to Sheldon. We've also arranged with some lodging here in Sheldon. I don't know if I can say where that's going to be yet, but we have arranged with someone to provide lodging for her in return for some blog posts and social media. So it's really great when the businesses work with us to bring those bloggers in because they in turn are offering a meal or a one-night stay, and they're getting a lot of social media advertising in exchange, and it really helps O'Brien County too. So Sheldon's been a great partner for that. Thank you very much. And then there are some of the statistics down there from January to December. You can see by using those initiatives, our web traffic has gone up quite a bit. So we'll continue working on that, and every little thing we can do, if we can change one mind of one student to stay here, work here, live here, I feel we're making some progress. And then we have our Value Added Ag Steering Committee. This is one of our longest serving steering committees. They actually formed in 1989. And they are very helpful for us when we're doing agribusiness, business recruitment in the agriculture sector. Every year they give out the Ag Hall of Fame Award. We've had many winners over the years from the Sheldon area. Last year, the recipients for the individual was Dudley McDowell from Archer, and then also Archer Co-op. And grain company, those applications are out right now, so if you have someone you'd like to submit, please let me know and I'll get that application to you. We did host a farm ownership succession and estate planning workshop in January, and we'll look at continuing that every other year. And then also we did integrate those value-added ag trades into our career day program by taking the students to see Ziegler and AgriVision and some of those other ag industries. And then finally, our leverage funds. As I mentioned, we operate off $170,000 a year. So in order to do some of the programming and do some of the things we want to do, we seek other funds by leveraging those funds you give to us. So we're very mindful of those dollars. We appreciate them, and we try to leverage them to go as far as we can. So by using those funds, we've received in grant money $279,000 and loan money, which would be our USDA loans, but we had to use money to match for those, so we've been able to receive over $2 million. So thank you for that. And then also this year we are celebrating 35 years. And I just thought some fun facts would be the original Sheldon Incorporator. Unfortunately, I don't know all these people, wish I did, was Russ Anderson in 1989. I don't know if anybody knows him, but and then Sheldon board members over the year, Gerald Clausen was the first one, then Gary Blythe, Linda Funk, Mary Rackey, and Scott Winya, Mark Gall, Kurt Strauss, and Mark Brown. So kind of cool facts, so thank you. Anybody have any questions about my report? I apologize if I'm talking too fast.
I do have a question,
Yeah.
Ken, if that's all right. I'm going to take you clear back to the very beginning when you were talking about career days.
Yes.
If I heard you correctly, we're in the 6th year of that program?
This year was our sixth career day, yes.
So my question is, are you compiling any statistics that would give us some foundation on how well we're progressing with the transition of college versus career?
Well, that's a good question because we've talked about that over the years, and since we're using sophomores, we thought, well, how can we get this feedback? We're going to almost have to wait 5 years or so to see. So we're getting to that point where we're wondering if we can use like high school alumni to do some surveys. But On the flip side, this year, all the graduation inserts came out, and so I received Sheldon's, Hartley's, and South O'Brien's, and I was looking at it, and I noticed quite a trend of students going to NCC, entering the workforce, going to work at Village Northwest, so I started totaling them, and out of the 3 schools, there was a greater number of students staying locally than were leaving, so I was kind of curious, can we take that as something that we've been doing? Have we been making an impact by keeping those students? I don't know, because I don't have the data to back that up. But I did notice there were more students staying home than leaving.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it'd be good for you and everyone concerned to understand what is working and
Right.
what you guys are doing to promote that.
So that's a really good question, something I'll put on the next agenda, because we do need to start tracking that somehow, whether it's high school alumni or...
Well, I know that there's, across the board support of the businesses
Yeah.
in supporting career days because they share the vision of keeping them and
Yeah.
providing them careers outside of college degrees. It would almost be good to
Well,
let them understand too how things are going in that regard, so.
And one of the things I noticed in those inserts with the high school graduates are a lot of them are doing the internship programs too. I've seen a lot going to Ziegler or AgriVision, and so that was interesting too, because a lot of our employers are doing that. We did talk amongst the career day. We think we need to make some changes, change it up a little more. What that looks like, we don't know, but we're kind of working through that for next year. I think we're going to have some conversations with our employers on what that looks like, but it'll be better. So whatever we decide to do. And in addition to the career day, I didn't do it this year, but the last 3 years, I don't know if you remember my college and careers program where I brought panelists, graduates from each high school into the school to talk to the students. And we had a really good feedback on that. Why I didn't do it this year is 2 of the schools that had done it, Hartley and South O'Brien, just started in doing that themselves now. So that was great. We don't need to do it. We'll go on and do something else.
Okay. Thanks for tackling my question there.
Good question. Now I'm thinking, yeah, we have to do that. So that'll be on my list. Thank you. On the attachments, I don't know if you have the arrival list data. This is a tourist report. And I think last year I brought you one during the middle of the year. Well, this year is 2003, the whole year. And this was data the state's collected from cell phone towers, so it's pings on cell phones. It's kind of creepy, but they are tracking you. And so if you come into Sheldon and you stayed for more than 2 hours and you've traveled over 100 miles, I believe it was, they tracked you. So the data they have is they can tell you that the majority of your people are coming from the Sioux City area, then Sioux Falls, Des Moines, and how they would like you to use that data is if you're going to have an event or something, you want to do some targeted marketing, you can see that's where your people are coming from. We don't know if they're coming to visit relatives, if they're coming to do shopping, or if they're truckers coming in to take a load out or deliver a load. We don't have that data. I can tell you your busiest months were June and November. If I was going to take a guess, I'd probably say June was Rice Fest. I don't know what you did in November, but you can tell that's when most of your travelers came. And then the second sheet, this is really interesting. They told us we're different than the rest of the communities in the state. Trips by the days of the week. So you can see, of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturday are your busiest, but what we find interesting is Monday is greater than Tuesday and Wednesday. And why I point that out is because a lot of our businesses are closed on Monday. So if you have the opportunity to talk to those businesses and say, you might want to reconsider your hours on Monday because you're definitely bringing in more traffic on Monday versus Tuesday. So kind of some fun data, and most of the people are coming in for day trips. And then the second attachment I had, this was a report that was included from by SciBiz Lab when we did that. And they did 2 different data sectors they gave us. One was a comparison to Butler, Cherokee, Grundy, Lyon, and Sioux County. And then they had the share of our county economy, and one of the things the LCDC board found interesting is they said healthcare is our greatest sector. It wasn't manufacturing. And so for me, I'm thinking I had to kind of change my focus a little, but that kind of shocked me. I didn't see that. So we'll be focusing a little more on that. But then you can also see the other counties and where they kind of land and where we do. So O'Brien County is greater in the healthcare sector than the other neighboring communities. Anybody have any questions or thoughts?
Covered a lot of ground.
Thank you.
So, yeah,
Thank you for letting me come. I appreciate it. And
Yeah.
thank you for your support.
You know, appreciate the work you're doing on behalf of the county, so,
Thank you.
thank you. All right. Todd, you're up next with an update on the lead service line in this inventory.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, so we call it lead service line inventory, but really what it is it's a service line inventory for the entire community. We've been asked and required to do this as part of EPA and DNR regulations. And what we're trying to do is get a better understanding of what is buried under the ground, how much lead's under the ground, how much galvanized, how much copper, how much plastic, so on and so forth. As for now, all we're required to do is inventory it, but at some point, I guarantee you there'll be a reaction to the inventory. That day is coming. So anyways, recently, last week, you should have received, or most of you should have received a postcard in the mail. I'm just asking that people please take the time to look at the postcard. It's just a double-sided postcard. It's got City of Sheldon letterhead on it. It's got a QR code, which takes you to a survey. Or if you don't have a smartphone or a camera to use the QR code, it has a web link. Please go on there to ask you some very simplistic questions. And if you don't know, there's an option to just say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'd like somebody from the city to make an appointment and come help me out. If you don't know, that's fine. We're more than happy to come help you out. It's imperative that we get this done, and the more people that we can get to fill that out, the better off we're going to be in the end, and the less doors we have to knock on in the end. Just to give you an example, we sent out right at 2,000 postcards, and as of last week Friday, I've received 90 responses. Certainly hope we can do better than that. That's 1,900 doors we still need to knock on. So if the media could help us get that out, folks, please fill those out. Other thing I wanted to quickly report on while I got the microphone and you're listening, or at least pretending to anyway, is sanitary sewer flows and sump pumps. With the rains we've had this year, I think we've made it pretty well aware to the public that we've had some issues with high flows. Fortunately, backups have been very, very minimal. But if we don't get continued support of the public, we're just increasing the odds of more people having issues. So please take the time to check where your sump pump is plumbed. It should be either outside or to a storm sewer. It should not be plumbed to the sanitary sewer. It's illegal, actually, for it to be to the sanitary sewer. So we're just asking people, please take the time and do the right thing. And if you don't do it for me, then do it for yourself or do it for your neighbor. Because all that extra flow, all it does is then increase the odds of backup. So that just means either you're going to end up with water in your basement or one of your neighbors or one of your loved ones is. So please take the time to check that out. Again, if you don't know how to check it, let us know. We'd be more than happy to come help you through that process. That's all I have, unless you have questions.
And it won't be clean water.
It will be a huge mess. You are correct, Brad.
In terms of enforcement, do we have a plan at all?
Well, we could make one. It's going to be rather intrusive, right? We could hire somebody, a firm to come in and I suppose compliance check sump pumps and their lines. So we could attempt to do it with our own staff. It would be a huge undertaking. The best thing we can do is people just understand you're only hurting yourself, and beyond hurting yourself, we talk about the backup, but every gallon of water that goes into the sanitary sewer stream gets pumped by a lift station or gets pumped at the treatment plant. Some of it gets pumped 2 or 3 times before we actually treat it. Every gallon costs money. We just got done approving another rate increase. The more gallons we treat, the more we're going to have to increase rates. So It may cost money to reroute your sump pump, but in the end, you might be saving yourself money by rerouting your sump pump, along with not having an insurance claim with Larry or somebody else because you've got a whole bunch of dirty water. Enforcement, it can be done, Greg, but it would be ugly. Just ask that people comply.
I guess that would be, in the event that they wouldn't, that would kind of force our hand that we'd have to start doing it.
Yeah.
I just talked to a neighboring community today, and they are enforcing it. I mean, initially, they schedule a visit and check it.
Yep.
Going around, and then there's a surprise visit down the road to make sure they're compliant, and if not, it's a pretty hefty fine.
Yep.
So, I mean, that is potentially a next step if we don't see people starting to
No
do the right
disagreement
thing.
from me. It's not, it won't be a lot of fun
No, I realize that.
for me or for you.
No, I know.
But no, that's a serious point that the people do need to understand, because it could come to that. I know we put some posts out there, but in case somebody didn't read them, an average day at the wastewater treatment plant should be 800,000, maybe in high flow times, maybe 1 million gallons a day. I know we hit 3.9 once this spring, and this last storm at one point we hit 3.6 million. So, an increase from 900,000 to 3.6 million is a pretty substantial increase.
So Todd,
City
can
having
you,
liability for backup, if basements are backed up, that's not our problem, is it? Or?
That's for the insurance companies to figure out.
You said early on in your presentation, it is illegal to be dumping
There's a city ordinance against it, yes.
sump water into your sanitary sewer.
That's correct.
Yeah, and because it's a city ordinance, a violation could lead to a municipal infraction and/or a misdemeanor charge. So there currently is the opportunity, if you want to use that word, for a punitive result. So if found out, there could be consequences.
so Todd, with this issue being highlighted right now, because we've been getting rain,
Correct.
is there any idea from your department on what percentage of the community may be putting theirs into the sewer system?
I'm going to say no, I don't have a way to quantify it.
I'm sitting here thinking, are we talking 5%? Are we talking 50%? And is it, what is the end benefit from it, if we can quantify it?
So,
Understand the risk, I understand the risks, but.
yeah. No, I don't currently have a way to quantify it. You have to understand with inflow and infiltration, there's sump pumps, roof drains, right? Those are foundation drains. Those are ways that stormwater can infiltrate your sanitary sewer system. What are some of the other ways? City-owned main lines. That's why we do manhole replacement projects like we just did at 2nd Avenue. That's why we do sewer lining projects like we did at 4th Street a couple of years ago. That's why we do spot repairs every year. So that's part of it. There's also more miles of service line in town that the city doesn't own than there is. So if that's got a bad spot in it, that's another way for infiltration. So infiltration comes in many ways. We just know that sump pumps are a very quick way for it to infiltrate, and I can tell you when it rains hard and sump pumps start flowing, we immediately see flows go up. And if you watch the streets around town, the sump pumps start slowing down, so are our flows. And when I say immediately, I mean within hours of a heavy rain.
Okay, thanks.
My sump pump the other day was running once every 54 seconds. So that's,
Yeah.
that's a lot of water. Mine's going to my
Mhm.
backyard,
Mm-hmm.
but if it was going down the sanitary sewer, that's a lot of water. Just figure that's what, 5 gallons every 54 seconds? 24 hours a day?
So. All right, anyone else? Questions?
Fill out your surveys, please.
All right. Sam, anything else you need to report today?
No, thank you.
And Todd, I'm assuming that's all you had for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop.
Okay. Tanya, anything from you today? All right. Scott's not here, Nicole's not here. Angie?
No, thank you.
Micah?
No, thank you.
Counsel to my left?
Nothing there.
To my right? And the only comment I have is regarding our summer season is upon us. Our first celebration starts Friday. Encourage everyone to get out if you can to the Rise Fest grounds and take in some excellent music and food booths and camaraderie, but their goal this year is 25,001. It's been 100 years since the Klan had a rally here with 25,000 people present, and they want to break that record for positive reasons. So do what you can. If you can't get out there, encourage somebody else to go. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Support, whoever.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ken,
Aye.
Snyder,
Aye.
Ostrov,
Aye.
Eggers,
Aye.